Welcome into Inside Humboldt Basketball with Coach Ronald Abernathy. And, Coach, it's been another great week as more wins. 2-0 this last week, staying 8-0, undefeated in District 13 Single-A boys basketball.
Yes, sir. I'll take it.
That's right.
We will take that.
That's right. One road win and one home win, which – these kids are really firing at a good time right now. I looked back at there was the home game it was Bradford that came in here on Tuesday night. They singled in on Fred again, and Stefan kind of went off, and then you can kind of look at the score sheet and see where maybe they shifted to Stefan, and then Fred kind of had his moment as well. Right. It's kind of that double-edged sword that everybody's got to be aware of down low.
Right, and that's what we do by design.
Yes, sir.
Actually, if we can get our shooters at the point and shooters on the wings to hit some of those open shots, it would open it up even more, which is what we are hoping for and wishing for.
Now, I'm seeing as we're going down the stretch, our point totals are going higher. Is that by design as well, or is it just kind of how the game is flowing at the moment?
Well, if you're moving the ball and you're moving, we're big on hitting the open man, and that's what basically we're doing. More people moving, more people getting an opportunity to score, and they are scoring.
Yes, sir. Tuesday night, big win, 40-point win, 69-29 district win. And you said going into that game, you wanted disciplined basketball. How do you feel we executed as far as on that side of things?
We did a good job.
Okay.
We got out to a decent start. We executed very well and actually kept executing throughout the game, and it did a very good job of staying focused and disciplined.
Now you get on the road against a team that have we played West Carroll before? If we have, it's been a while.
That's the first time we've played them in a while.
Okay.
And of course, they are new to our district.
Yes, sir.
So that's the first time we played them in quite a while because actually we were supposed to play them. They owe us a home game from 2 or 3 seasons ago when we had the incident in our gym. And for whatever reason, West Carroll decided that our place wasn't a safe place to play.
Yeah.
So they decided to forfeit the game, and that's what they did.
Wow. Well, they're coming into town on Thursday night, and district kind of forces that. But let's talk about last Friday night. You went in there to the Eagle's Nest, I guess is what they call it there, and really took care of business, performed strong, and probably one of your higher scoring games in the year, 93 points. Everything just seemed to be falling.
Yes, it was. And, again, we played a lot of players and kind of stayed fresh, stayed physical, stayed mindful, stayed disciplined, and it resulted in us scoring a lot of points.
I noted this week in the Humboldt Chronicle that's coming out on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, in both wins, you had 10 different players scoring baskets.
Right.
That's huge. I mean, and the depth going down the stretch. If you have to pull a good player out, let's just say, all players get into foul trouble eventually. It happens in high school basketball. It seems like. Is that those key moments that those players are getting right now? Is that basically going to benefit you down the road, down the stretch?
That's big, and basically is what we've been searching for this year. We always knew we had the starting 5.
Yes,
but
sir.
we continually preach about we need 5 more.
Yeah.
We need 5 more players that can step up, to come off the bench, to come in and not see a drop-off.
Yeah.
And we've been consistently looking for that all year long, and that's why we've played a lot of people, and now it looks like we're at that 9 or 10 persons.
Now, you mentioned earlier if they could hit those corner shots and that kind of thing, it would open things up even more down low for your guys. I see a player that has he probably didn't surprise you guys, but looking at the roster, I didn't expect Cavante Wedley to play the way he has. I look at his statistics even in the last 2 games versus the first couple of games. There's a lot of growth in that young man as well.
Oh, yeah, tremendous growth. And I'm really proud of Cavante because he's done a good job. He's come in, he works hard, he's focused, he works at it. Shooting particularly, he works at it, early in the morning on game day, getting shots up, and he works at it, and he's come a long way. It's a lot more disciplined, a lot more focused, and I'm really proud of him. And as a coaching staff, I have to admit, my coaches talked me into making sure that we give him a chance, and of course it has paid off.
You got your Kendrick Taylor, which is a staple on this offense as well, and it seems like recently his shots are falling a little better than they were as well. Are you seeing, we've talked about it before, the championship caliber teams that you've had before, kids, kind of taking things in their own hands, being early in the gym, staying late. Right. What are you seeing from this team? Are you seeing that returning?
Yeah, we see that returning. Early morning coming on, especially on game day. They come early morning at 6 o'clock a.m. and they get shots up, and they are in the gym during the weekend a lot on Saturday nights and Sunday nights getting shots up, and we see the work ethic there. We see it there, and it's paid off. Seems
like your free throw percentage also has increased over the last couple of weeks. Has that been a point of emphasis as well in practice?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. We continually preached about the fact that this is a free shot.
Yeah.
So take your time and make it. Basketball players make free throws. It's particularly our guards, but Stephon Shivers has done a great job as our big guy because they're fouling him a lot, and he's done a great job of hitting his free throws.
Yeah. You hear the word audible a lot with football, but more in basketball, I think they use more of the word adjustment. So we're going to adjust in this show today. Normally we take a break and we talk the upcoming games afterwards, but let's stay here with this because we have a coach here today that we're going to talk to as well. And then quite a milestone that was hit on Friday night that we want to go into a little more later on in the program. But we have some games that are coming up. You got 2 games this week. On the regular season schedule, it showed 1 game. We were going to be wrapping up the season actually tomorrow night on the road at Middleton. Let's talk that game first. We actually have an extra home game because of the ice and snow that came in weeks ago. But you have a very good Middleton team that really – I don't want to jinx us or anything, but we handled them very well here in Humboldt.
We did.
And it may have been, just how things fell that night. I don't know. But what do you expect to see out of this Middleton team that might be different than what we saw the first time around?
Well, the fact Middleton's they're always good and are very well coached. We're going to have to go in there and we're going to have to play.
Yes,
no question about that. We're going to have to take our A game in there in order to go in there to come out with a victory, but we do intend to do that.
Yes. That's a big game.
Yes, it is.
It's a big game because Middleton, they lost 1 game in the district?
Lost 1 game.
So they're coming into that because you're undefeated.
Right.
That's talk in the locker room.
Yes.
We need to even that score. That's what they're saying.
Right.
So how do you prepare your guys to just stay even kill and play their game?
Well, again, being disciplined, being focused, not being concerned now with so much Middleton, but being concerned with what we do, how we do it.
Yeah.
Execute what we execute, do what we do best, and I think the rest will take care of itself.
It's obvious your philosophies are working. We talked about last week on the program your halftime speech of it's 0-0 at halftime, and I look and you've had one of your better quarters in the third quarter last week on Friday night at West Carroll. 29 points in the third quarter, pretty much sealed that game in that third quarter. And so you talk about, your philosophies as a coach and as a coaching staff, obviously, those things that you're teaching and preaching are working. So as you go into this final week, we've got an extra game. We want to mention that on Thursday night. West Carroll is coming here. The home game here was canceled due to snow and ice. Is that kind of a blessing in disguise? You get to kind of end the season out at home.
Yes, we do, and it's very much a blessing that we truly appreciate, and we're going to try to take advantage of that. And no matter what the outcome on Tuesday night, we get a chance to come right back on Thursday and finish out at home.
Thursday night right here at Thomas Ray Boykin Gymnasium. No doubt it's going to feel like a Friday night in that atmosphere. I love calling games when we're home. It's just a different feel all the way around. And we'll let folks know we are back to our normal setup. I know last week was kind of rough. We ended up just broadcasting to Facebook. Couldn't even get the YouTube to talk to us. For some reason, it wasn't working. And I was 2 minutes till my pregame show. I'm like, okay, we just got to go to Facebook tonight. So we do have there was a cable that we had to pre-order and special order to get it in, and so it is in, and we will be able to broadcast to YouTube this Thursday night. That will be the next game we broadcast. It will be Thursday night. We will go live. Man, the girls program as well. I mean, it's
awesome.
Unreal.
Coach Green and his staff have done a tremendous job.
Thursday night is a big night.
Yes, it is.
All the way around. I'll let the cat out of the bag. No, we're not going to talk a whole lot about this just yet because we do have another segment. But let's talk Thursday night. You got a lot of things also to work through. I know you said no matter the outcome, obviously we want to win, but you're going to have a lot of distractions.
Yes,
there's so many things. You've got 2 of your players getting a ball.
Yeah.
You've got a girl on the Lady Vikings getting a ball.
Right.
And then plus they're recognizing your 200th win, which happened last Friday night at West Carroll.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, it's senior night also. So that will involve senior cheerleaders also. So
it's going to be a night.
Yeah, it will.
It's going. I don't think we could fit one more thing in that schedule. It is crazy. So, and I misspoke last week. We thought it was senior night and 8th grade night the same night, and that was a mistake on our part here. But senior night this Thursday night, you've got 2 seniors, Carnell Allen, Fred Moore. Fred and I think Stefan are getting a ball. Tamira Patterson are getting a ball, and then you're being acknowledged for your 200th win. You know, you talk about the distractions going into the Middleton game, but then you turn around and you got to handle those distractions again on Thursday.
Yes, we do, and hopefully we will do it the correct way.
Again, we remind you there is a change in where the next tournament will be played. That will be announced on February the 9th, and we're sitting on the edge of our seat waiting to hear.
Right.
So let's take a quick break. Actually, before we do, why don't you go ahead and introduce the coach that we have here today. He's no stranger to the program, no stranger to the people in the Humboldt community. He's been with you for a long time.
Yes, actually, my chief assistant coach, Marcus Butler. When you say a long time, that's an understatement.
Yeah,
You know, he played for me in college,
yes,
and on the winningest team in Lane College basketball history. He's been with me 10 years. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent coach. I put him up with the best.
Yeah.
Player development, mindset, excellent coach. And he's been with me we've been here together 10 years. And
wow.
Whenever I think about him and I think about when we first came in, it was just him and myself.
Yeah.
And I think about the first thing I think about is him and ourselves putting on gloves and cleaning out the locker room.
Oh, wow.
From years and years of things that were stuffed back in the corners and under the tables, and it was him and I, just him and I. But a great, tremendous basketball coach and a tremendous asset to this program.
So you have not coached a game in Humboldt without him really as your assistant?
No, I have not.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's awesome. We're going to talk to Coach Butler as well coming up next, and then following Coach Butler, we'll bring Coach Abernathy back to talk about that 200th win and what that means in the program, and he's got some pretty neat statistics that we'll talk about coming up very, very soon. You're watching Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy.
Who is the table for? It's not just where some serve while others sit. The table is where we make decisions, where we shape the future, where we engage each other on equal ground. If we're going to feed the world, it will take all of us. Every voice, every point of view, everyone at the table.
Nothing brings community together quite like a sporting event. Security Bank and Trust Company is committed to supporting our local sports teams because we know how important it is to be part of a great team. This is Deanne McEwen at Security Bank and Trust Company. When you team up with us, you are fostering the competitive spirit of our local athletes. Want to be part of our team? Join our amazing banking community. Visit your nearest branch or head to securitybanktn.com to learn more. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hey Vikings fans, this is Ted Martin, former Humboldt Vikings quarterback and class of '93 graduate. When me and my fellow classmates want to follow Viking sports, we watch Viking News on Demand. In addition to live streaming of games, there are also plenty of specialty shows that keep us all involved in our alma mater. On behalf of the class of 1993, go Vikings!
Are you in search of a nurturing and educational environment for your little ones? Look no further than We Pray Learning Academy, located at 910 North Central Avenue in Humboldt, Tennessee. We offer our services to children aged 8 weeks to 12 years old. With our dedicated owners, Hannah and Doris Collins, you can rest assured knowing that your family is in good hands. To learn more about our academy and how we can best serve your child, reach out to us via email at weprayacad@yahoo.com or give us a call at 731-784-7294. We can't wait to meet you and your little Vikings.
Welcome back into Inside Humboldt Basketball with Coach Ronald Abernathy, and we are here with Chief Assistant Basketball Coach Marcus Butler. And Coach Butler, you played for him. It was at Lane College, correct?
Correct.
So let's talk about, kind of your playing days under him. What is a memory? I'm going to bring up just one memory. I know that would be hard because he coached you. But what is something that stands out when you think about your playing days with Coach Ab?
Well, probably just the beginning more than anything, because the day-to-day, all that stuff starts to just go together.
Sure.
Because when I originally came to Lane, I didn't come to play basketball. I came to just finish out my education because the school that I was at, their athletic program closed down.
Oh.
So I ended up coming to Lane, and I was just going to finish my education, I guess. And I had passed Coach a couple of times in the parking lot, or, walking to class or whatever, and he stopped me, and he hey, man, what you doing here? Just small conversation, come try – not really try out, but just come play with the guys,
Yeah.
Long story short, I went to play a couple of times, and somehow happened I end up on the team. So you know how that goes.
What position did you play?
Point guard, of course.
Point guard. All right. So now let's talk about how different it is, because you played for Coach Ab,
right?
Which his expectations. And nobody know a coach like a player,
Correct. Yeah.
And then you come in here, and from game one, you've been sitting alongside Coach Abernathy. And what's that? How different is that? Was that quite an adjustment?
Not so much, because his expectations were my same expectations when I played as a player. So it made the transition easy from going to coach to player. And our relationship wasn't, like I said, from college to coaching, it never really changed.
How shocked were you when you got the phone call saying, "Hey, I'm going to Humboldt and I need an assistant coach"?
Oh, that was the easiest.
Yeah.
It was easy, yes.
Yeah.
We went out to eat and talked about it, but it was no reason to even go eat and talk.
Sure. I imagine as long as you guys have coached together and he's coached you, it's almost like you're part of the family now.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
That's like Pops in the game.
Yeah. And that was kind of interesting, too, for you to be able to coach RJ. And, man, that was a fun team. That was a fun. I still go back and watch highlights from that season, man. I've got guys that just start coming to the church, and I've kind of roped them into being cameramen and stuff for me now. And I'm like, guys, you got to go back. It's ESPN-style highlight stuff, man.
Most definitely. I got the chance to, even Jared.
Yes.
I worked with everybody, but more so the guards and the relationships I built with the guards. And, we had couple of good guards through these 10 years we had.
Now, if somebody attends a game, I'm not breaking any news here. You're a little more vocal. I don't know if I would say maybe intense is the right word. Coach Ab, and maybe it's just kind of he's been around for a while with the game, but or maybe that's your role on the team. But is that more your coaching style, or is that really the role you're playing with the team right now? Is just kind of you're the in-your-face kind of coach?
I'm going to say probably about 50-50. Coach lets me, do my thing, and he does his thing.
Sure.
We both know our lines within each other where, hey, this is what works. So like I said, being the player coach, it made it so much easier to transition because we get along, Yeah.
It has been a great fit from the very get-go. I think we ended up coming in to announce basketball the year after, I think it was, that you guys started coaching here in Humboldt.
Okay.
And, man, just to watch the sideline, and it's just tandem, and you can tell it's a natural bond that's there. What do you bring to the day-to-day operations here? Let's talk about what Coach Marcus Butler as chief assistant head coach.
The intensity, I guess, to practice. Intensity, game preparation, getting everything in line, making sure, before we even started this, he was talking to me about what he wanted to practice over. And then I go back and I think, okay, how can I perfect and make what he wants to do even better?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm really the bridge.
Yes, sir.
I'm the youthful that brings the kids, the energy to the kids, and they can relate it. And then he just puts it together.
When you have the success that you guys have had here, obviously, people are going to start calling. They're going to start talking to Coach Butler and saying, hey, we want you. What has kept you at Humboldt?
Him.
Yeah.
I enjoy coaching under.
Sure.
Yeah, it's, of course, everybody wants to be a head coach one day, but, coaching with him is just, it's natural. Like I said, it's easy. It's not necessarily easy. It's just, I get to coach. I don't have to deal with all the extra that goes along with coaching.
Sure.
I just coach.
Yeah. That's the fun part right now.
Yeah.
Do you ever see in the future, whether it's here or anywhere, do you ever see in the future you might be a head coach somewhere?
God's timing, man.
Yeah.
I just wait on him and see what he says next for me.
Coming to a city like Humboldt, it's different. I was born here. I was born in Jackson Hospital, but I've lived in Humboldt all my life, and I've been in this community. My dad came here as a 24-year-old man, and this is all I know. but I also know there's challenges that come with this town. And did you expect those things when you walked in, or was it really an eye-opener?
Honestly, when I came in, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I just knew I wanted to be a coach in a successful program. And, I mean, of course, we have our challenges here with students, fans, parents, whatever the case may be. But that's anywhere you go.
That's exactly
You just
right.
pick your poison, what you want to deal with and what you don't want to deal with. And
Yes, sir.
so far, the fans and the parents and everybody has embraced us. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we hadn't had many hiccups where it just made me be like, you know what, why am I here?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like you say, with any fan base, you may have a few that holler things, and but y'all have done a great job of just staying the course. And this has been a great year. I don't know the last year, and Coach Ab probably does, and I'll ask him here in a minute. But I don't know the last year that we went undefeated in the actual district.
Yeah, he keeps up with all that. I don't.
He'll be ready. He's a stat machine.
He is. He is. I'm just good to be here at the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's got to be a challenge keeping those guys focused and not worrying about that. You think about these teams that are going undefeated and then they get into the playoffs, and that means nothing at that point.
Right.
If you lose a game here and there, that's okay. And we have throughout the season, and I think that may be why some people are looking past Humboldt right now. You all have stretched this coaching staff. You've took them to Memphis and played those tough teams. You went to Kentucky and played a really tough team over there in Callaway. But that is benefiting us. I'm seeing this team really firing right now. The growth from game one to this, when we first started the season, I was like, I'm not sure. But obviously you guys knew the potential you had.
Right, correct.
And it's coming out.
The biggest part is just, like you say, staying humble. And Coach says all the time, man, the people that come to the game, they pay to get in. We get in free. And we get in free for a reason.
Sure.
And then too, the growth. We came into this season still young.
Yes, sir.
Last year they were sophomores, and now we got juniors.
Yeah.
And they're turning to their junior selves right now.
Yeah.
Which is the prime time to be, blossoming and turning to the pretty flower that they're going to end up being next year.
Well, that's what I told Coach last week. We was talking about it. I remember the look in the eyes of Kendrick and Stefan and Fred and all those guys last year when we walked on that floor at MTSU. The lights hit them.
Yeah.
And, you can't help that.
I'm not going to point out the player name, but
sure.
Before the game, they came to me and said, I'm actually nervous now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hit you. See, I went to state when I was in high school, so I can understand the feeling. You know what I mean? So I know what it feels like when those lights. It's way different than coming to your home's gymnasium, and it's more behind it. And to what you said just a second ago about the winning.
Yeah.
You could lose all season. As long as you win those key games.
That's right.
The key games is all that matters. So 8-0 means nothing. 0-8 means nothing until you get to these district games and you have to win.
That's exactly right. And those kids, these guys have a chance to go this year, and then many of them, I know you lose Fred and Carnell this year, but many of them have a chance to go back the following year.
Correct.
This is a strong program. One last thing before I let you go here. Humboldt's atmosphere is very unique. When a Friday night in this gym, which really even a Tuesday night can be pretty rowdy. It can be exciting. Have you experienced that in high school anywhere else, or is that unique to this town? It's a very unique fan base.
Hard to say,
Yeah.
When you're winning, it's easy for people to come and support you.
That's true.
And that's one of the biggest things that I see just here, anywhere. Like, when you're winning, it's okay. You're going to feel the gym.
Yes, sir.
When you're just averaging okay, you're going to have people here and people there. So, your true supporters are the ones that travel with you no matter what, We have we have a lot of true fans here that no matter where we play, we're going to have one or two in the stands that's going to make that trip, even if it's for the kids or just to support the Humboldt, you know what I'm saying?
Even all the way down in Middleton, hour and 20 minutes one way. And you got a good team waiting on you when you get there.
And waiting on it.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. I've always had fun watching, and I'm glad they got me on the sideline again this year. I get to watch a lot of things. Obviously, we don't broadcast everything, but I get to watch a lot of things from the sideline, and seeing the bond between the coaches and the players, man, is just so awesome to see. And good luck the rest of the season. Love to see us go ahead and get that state championship this year.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. That's always the end goal.
We'll be right back, folks. Coach Ab's going to be back with us. We're going to talk about Coach Ab's 200th win that took place last Friday night. That's quite an accomplishment. You're watching Inside Humboldt Basketball with Coach Ronald Abernathy on Viking News on Demand.
Are you looking for a job in manufacturing or maintenance? Look no further than West Rock, located at 1720 North 9th Avenue in Humboldt, Tennessee. West Rock is not only proud to support the Humboldt Vikings, but they are also actively hiring. What's even better is there is no mandatory weekend overtime. The manufacturing position starting at a competitive $19.25 an hour, and the possibility for an increase to $19.83 an hour after just 60 days. West Rock offers a great opportunity for those interested in the field. If you have an experience as a maintenance technician, the pay ranges from $21.39 to $32.88, depending on your level of expertise. Don't wait any longer to get started on your application by visiting jobs.westrock.com. Join the West Rock team as we cheer on your team, the Humboldt Vikings.
Jake from State Farm. I really want that personal price plan, so I'll admit it. I'm a bath bomb guy.
Dude, you do not need to get that personal. The State Farm Personal Price Plan simply helps you create an affordable price just for you.
For real?
Who's ready for their jazz bath? No?
Who is that guy?
Jazz bath? Call or click to get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the ketchup that falls from the hot and juicy burger go to waste.
Sport builds us up. It strengthens our bodies. It strengthens our resolve. Sport teaches us lessons of grace or humility or humanity. And that we're far more powerful together. Winning the hour or winning the year. We're winning our lives. We're winning our way. Because while a season is short, fierce is forever.
Welcome back into Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy right here on Viking News on Demand. And we had a great talk there with Coach Butler, who has been with you since game one here in Humboldt. And we're going to talk about that. 10 years. We're in our 10th season here. And you just picked up your 200th win. It was at West Carroll. And what a special night that was. Why don't you talk about what was going through your mind going into that game? Because obviously we talked about it at the end of the Tuesday night game. You told me, hey, next game is my 200th win.
Right.
That's the way you worded it. You knew it was coming.
Well, you can say that, but then, you have to still go play the game.
That's true.
And for me, it was just a matter of not overreacting.
Yeah.
Knowing that that's 200 wins in 10 years is average of 20-plus wins per year. And my son, RJ, said it to me best when he talked to me on the phone, to say good luck.
Yeah.
He said, Dad, do you realize that you got 200 wins in a 10-year period? In a decade, you got 200 wins in 10 years. He said, that's phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
And he talked about some other coaches who took twice the time. For example, he talked about Tony Brown at Northside. It took him 22 years to get 200. And, you talk about it, but that is that's tremendous to be able to have an average of 10-year average of 20-plus wins per year.
Lots of memories go with those wins, and we would probably leave somebody out if we started naming, some of the players that have played for you in those 10 years. But when you came in here, you was talking about you had to clean out the locker room, which, it has been a basketball program that has seen its success even a little bit before you got here, under Coach Boykin and who the gym is now named after, Thomas Ray Boykin Gymnasium. And I know one of his players was a guy that used to live with his grandparents about 3 doors down from me. And every day before school, he was out front shooting baskets. When I get home, he was out front shooting baskets. And, that work ethic has kind of become part of the culture here. But when you came in, you talked about cleaning out the locker room, and you do have to set your culture. But it seems like the community has really embraced that culture.
Yeah, they have. And I've been very appreciative of the fans here in Humboldt. And many, many times when I'm out and about, how people will come to me and say to me, man, you're doing a tremendous job. And and even will say to me, I hear negative talk, but hey, I don't know anything negative they can say about you, because the phrase I always hear more than anything else, is, Coach, nobody around here knows more basketball. I has more basketball experience than you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you happen to be in a situation and circumstances where that is true, and that is the case.
To be here in Humboldt at the time that you have been, and the players that have come through, and you've been to the state tournament, is that twice in the 3 times in the 10 years? Okay, and then looking here in our 10th season, and there's a good chance you go back for a 4th year.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like I was saying with Coach Butler a while ago. We've seen the lights in those kids' eyes last year, and then they go in there, and if they can go back this year, it's going to be a difference maker. And then a lot of those have an opportunity to go back for a 3rd time in their career.
Right. And again, as I said to the team after the game on Friday night at West Carroll, I couldn't have accomplished those without the players.
That's right. And
without them buying in, and without them being a great part of that success of those 200 wins. And we think about the tremendous success that we've been allowed to have, and going to the state tournament 3 times, and there's some tremendous victories there.
Yeah.
When I think about 2017, I think about our sub-state win here at home against Middleton. When it looked like all was lost. The kid misses the free throw, steps off their best player, and we go into overtime and win by 11. And then I think about 2019 when we played Mace here at home, and that gym there was not a seat, standing room only. And then of course I go back to last year in 23 when we went to the state. What we accomplished by going into Memphis and beating Mace was a tremendous memory, Lord, that I will always remember.
That was a triple overtime game, wasn't it?
No, it was straight up.
You won it in the regular.
We won it in regular.
So I was thinking of a different game then, man.
No,
man.
That was the triple over. Yeah, that was regulation for us.
Wow.
And just to be able to do that, to go into Memphis, and again, that team was good.
Yeah,
they were talented. They were big. They had great guards, and just to be able to go in and accomplish that with these kids last year, a group of sophomore. And to be a sophomore-dominated team to go in and do that, it was a great memory.
So you come in here, it's just you and Coach Butler for a little while. Let's walk through the coaching additions, because you have quite a sideline now. I mean, you got quite the team that's helping you prepare each week. And, you brought Coach Butler with you. How long till you added the next piece?
The next year.
Next year, okay.
Coach Ingram's been with me 9 years.
All right.
Okay. And, of course, he was on the show when he talked about his duties.
Yes.
He's in charge of scheduling and uniforms and equipment. He does a tremendous job.
Yes, sir.
Then Coach Shivers has been with me 8 years.
Okay.
And which he does a tremendous job, in memory to Tony.
Yes,
Lambert,
Coach Lambert,
who was our strength and conditioning coach initially.
Yes.
Who was with us 4 years and did a tremendous job in those 4 years, and the kids highly respected him. And the work ethic he put in place for them in the weight room and in strength and conditioning and agility was tremendous, making them buy into the fact that if you lift weights and you run and you condition and you get agility, that you will be a better basketball player. And they bought into that. And of course, now we have Jeremy Bonner, who is our strength and conditioning coach, who has done a tremendous job. And our kids don't realize it. They don't understand, and we laugh all the time. They don't. We basically during the year follow the same pattern.
Okay.
First quarter, second quarter, by the third quarter, the other team is hanging.
Yeah.
And our kids don't really understand the importance of the weightlifting and conditioning program. And I would think that we do it more better than any other high school. In the state.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Coach Lambert is the only one that has been sniped off your staff. I guess if we could say it that way.
Right.
He was able to go and coach somewhere before he passed.
Right.
And But you've been able to keep this staff together for a long time. And I know you were sitting in the room when Coach Butler was answering the question, what's keeping you in Humboldt? And he named you.
Right.
You know, that says a lot about a coach and how close he is with his staff. What do you do to keep that bond that's there, that's keeping this staff together?
Well, first of all, treating them like people.
Okay.
Okay, having a relationship with them. And, of course, naturally with Butler, he played for me. So
yeah.
He basically knows how I am and what I expect. But just treating them, and they do a tremendous job. Just being able to respect them, and then giving them an opportunity to have suggestions and to pitch in and to be responsible for their respective aspects of our game and of our program. Sure. And they do it very, very well.
Yeah.
When we get to tournament time, we know who we're playing. We scout them. We got film. We got video. We sit down. We go over it. We break it down. We know what team weaknesses are and what their strengths are, and we're able to attack those, and which makes it a little easier for us. Because, like I said, I always know that our players are ready to play the game mentally is what we look for, and they are, because we prepare very well.
And we talk about that because of the 200 wins, obviously, and you've mentioned that you couldn't do it without the players, your coaching staff, a vital part of that as well. It's been a special season, and I know we talked about earlier, the blessing in disguise of getting to close the year at home. When I looked at that schedule the first of the year, and I saw we didn't have that many home games, and then I looked and I was like, they're all almost together.
Right.
For the winter weather to come in and just kind of work things out for us really, really is kind of ending the season on a high note. And then you go into the tournament. And I know, like we talked about with Coach Butler, being undefeated can be a distraction within itself if we're not careful. But when you get into postseason play, all of that means nothing. And just seeing these kids playing their best ball at this point of the season really makes you feel good heading into postseason.
Oh yeah, it makes us know as a coaching staff that the plan we set out before the season has worked out, and it is working, and we pray to God it keeps working.
Yeah,
but it has worked out. Playing that tough schedule, I think, which is one of the reasons why we're probably not ranked higher in the state because of the 8 losses.
Yeah,
but we also have the 5th toughest schedule in the state among all schools.
And those rankings mean nothing when you play the game.
They do, because the game still has to be played.
That's exactly right. Well, good luck this week, Coach. I know we got 2 games coming up the final week of the season. We've got a Tuesday night game on the road tomorrow night at Middleton, and then Thursday night we are here at home. If you want tickets to that Thursday night game, you first off got to go to gofan.com. Purchase those tickets there. There's no cash at the door. You show up at the door, there's a QR code hanging there as well. You can scan that and pay for your ticket and come on in. Clear bags. You're going to go through metal detectors, all of that. So come ready for that, okay? And you don't get upset at airports. Don't get upset here. You're just coming in. We're trying to maintain a safe atmosphere. And it's been a great year. I had no issues at all, and it's been just a fun family atmosphere. Looking forward to one more home game here in the regular season.
Yes.
Hoping we can host some in that postseason as well. It's huge.
It is very, very huge. But if we end up first or second seed, we won't have that.
Yeah.
Because we'll go straight to UT Martin for the district.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck again this week, and we will see kind of how the chips fall here.
But thank you very much, and appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Appreciate you folks watching tonight. This has been Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy right here on Viking News on Demand.